Look at this. Oh, nice little tight package. There is an extremely high-end 8.6 Blackout in here, and it's got a problem. This absolutely beautiful SLR Rifle Works 8.6 Blackout. What an absolutely beautiful build. This thing has all the good parts on it, all the good stuff. He did not mess around at all with this build, and it's absolutely beautiful. Of course, the suppressor is off of it. We'll put one of ours on. This is a subscriber build, and it's ended up in my hands because it has major problems. Met him out at the range. We shot some groups through it, and this gun will not group. So we have to determine here today, is it the gun? Maybe the barrel, the gun, something else wrong with the setup? Is it the ammo? We were shooting some 342 Guerrillas that did not group very well. We also shot some 300 grain plinkers that should have grouped well. They were grouping fine in mine. Those didn't group very well. Or could it be something up with this optic? So we're going to figure this out here. This is a real world problem. This gun happens to be 8.6 Blackout, but these are the steps you should follow no matter what the setup is. Now in this case, the ammo is expensive, so we don't want to mess around and end up shooting a couple of boxes through this with no result. If your build is a 22 long rifle or even a 223, 556, 65 Creedmoor 308, something where ammo is more reasonably priced, you can just plink away until you figure out the problem. But for this, we're going to take a step back. We're going to go through all the steps. We're going to do it properly. Figured I'd show that to you today. All right, so here's a story. Guy reaches out on Instagram telling me about his build. He's got all the nice parts on it. Hasn't shot it yet. And I said, hey, I'm going to the range. You want to meet me there? And so we met there at the range, going through having to zero his DNT optic, shooting some groups. We were at 100 yards, and we were seeing some really inconsistent things happening. This was the first time the gun shot. It was put together. He contracted a gunsmith to put the gun together, bought all the parts, got everything he wanted, had the guy put it together for him. So I think that it was put together properly. It does have a barrel that I'm unfamiliar with, which we'll talk about here in just a second. But we're just going to go through the list and double, triple check everything. I'm going to take this out to the range. We're going to figure out what the problem is and hopefully have a resolution. Both of us were able to shoot this gun, so able to eliminate one variable that it was just a shooter issue. It didn't shoot for me and it didn't shoot for him, so we can go down to the next thing on the list. For me, when something won't group, I don't like guessing, so we're going to strip this down to the basics and remove the variables one at a time. The first step is to remove the optic. In this case, it's a DNT Thermite, which is their night vision and thermal scope. Really cool. I took a pig with this scope on a DNT rig out at our property a couple of months ago. Really cool scope. I definitely would like to have one someday. DNT makes good stuff. If there is a problem here, we will be able to get with them and get it fixed. Okay, first things first, the scope was tight, but it wasn't crazy tight. Now, I did try to move it, and I did not get it to wiggle, but under recoil, we could definitely see that movement could be a possibility, so we're kind of already looking down the list here. I would say that it was not really as tight as it could have, should have been. At the range on this day, I did not have my tool bag, and so I couldn't check that at the range, which, if that ends up being what it is, then I guess that's a good thing. Let's keep going down the list here. We're clear. He's got a really nice trigger on here. Yeah, nice trigger. I did shoot this at the range, and it was enjoyable. It's a shame that it wouldn't group. Main thing to look for here with your build is to double check your torque spec. Now, I did not put this gun together, and I don't necessarily want to take his whole gun apart to look for problems, but we are going to remove the handguard, just 2 bolts right there, and we're going to double check the torque spec. I'm only going to check that it's tight. I'm not actually going to check the actual torque spec. If we need to down the road, we can take the barrel off and put it back on. But given that this is not my gun, I want to be very minimally invasive. All right, I don't know what that was torqued to, but it was tight, and I don't think that we have any problems with it being over tight. I guess that's a problem. We'll have to leave that in the box to follow up on later, that there could be a barrel torque issue here, but I don't think that's where our problem is. All right, for the scope, I'm going to throw on this HTX from US Optics. I really like this scope. It has held 0 for me before, and I think it will do the job here to make sure that we're dialed in with our scope setup. Something won't group. I don't like guessing. So we're down here to the basics. Step number 1, we've got the thermal off. I'm using the US Optics TXH 3-18. This scope is built for hunters. It's rugged, first focal plane, illuminated reticle, and side parallax. This TXH is built as a hunting scope, but it's got a lot of features you'd expect from a more tactical style scope. It's a 3-18 first focal plane, so you've got a really usable low end for close work and enough magnification to actually see what your groups are doing at a distance. The glass is clean and bright, reticle stays usable across the whole zoom range, and you've got side parallax and illumination. Which is nice when you're shooting in weird light or trying to confirm what the rifle's actually doing. US Optics has a great reputation for building a rugged scope that actually tracks, and that's why I'm going to put it on this one here, because it's a known quantity on top of this rifle. So if the groups are bad, I know it's not the scope. I thought about putting D&T's The One scope on here. Since we took the Thermite off, put another D&T on here. That scope would be about the same size as the entire upper on this gun. It's 16 inches, and 16 inches, the entire upper assembly is 16 inches. So that would have been kind of funny to see, but I think this is a more reasonable setup for us. So we'll try something like this. Normally, I would trust my highly calibrated wrist, but we're leaving nothing to chance today. Proper torque spec is a good thing here. We got 20 on the top, 25 on the side. Good. Oh my gosh. What a beautiful thing. A scoped little short barrel. Love it. That will allow us to eliminate that variable. Let's take a look at the ammo. Originally, Gorilla was the first 8.6 Blackout ammo manufacturer, and I give them a ton of respect for that. They came on a podcast with me early on. Nothing but good things to say about them. When I got that first Faxon barrel, this was the infancy of my YouTube channel. I had maybe a couple thousand subscribers, and when that Faxon barrel came that I ordered and paid for, it had a code to go to Gorilla and punch this code in. They were going to guarantee you could get 5 boxes of ammo. Those 5 boxes of ammo were $250, which, you know, there's actually probably more than that. I think they were more than $50 a box. But anyway, that original ammo, I got to shoot just fine out of my 16-inch barrel. I had a little bit of trouble early on, but everyone did. I then quickly started reloading my own, settled on that for a good long while, and had some other manufacturers pop up. We've also got some ammo here. Look at this box. It's got an 8.6 on it. Wait till you see what these look like. These guys are really pushing into the whole blackout thing. They blacked out their cases. That's a nickel coating that blacks out the cases, and in here they've got a 300 grain boat tail hollow point. This is a good plinking load, a good load to like test your setups on. I have not shot their stuff yet though, so I'm not going to use it in this test. Just the guys seem to be working really hard on it. I'll have a link for them down below if you want to go check them out. Decent price on a 300 grain boat tail hollow point. You can hunt with that. It's not ideal. They do open up a little bit, but it's certainly not the same as the big expander bullets that are specifically designed for 8.6 Blackout. For this test, though, I'm going to go with the CFE 300 grain from Halworks. A known quantity. I have shot it in 8-inch, 10-inch, 11-inch, 12-inch, 14-inch, and 16-inch barrels. I have them all, and I've shot them in a gas gun, in a bolt gun, one in 3 twists, one in 5 twists. I have every combination of 8.6 Blackouts. One thing I don't have is the barrel that is on this SLR build. It is a GQ Armory barrel. Should be a very nice barrel. The next thing you should do is go to the range and shoot the original ammo that you were shooting. In our case, that would be the 342s. See what the gun is doing with that ammo. We've changed the scope, which is one variable. We didn't change anything else, just a scope. We can eliminate things one at a time. The second thing we're going to do, if it's still not grouping, move to a different ammo, even a second or a third ammo, just so that you can confirm that it is not, in fact, the ammo. Hootie Hoo just posted a video where he was struggling with a 308, which is an unbelievably dialed round. These guns have been made for almost 100 years. The ammo has been made for almost 100 years. We know everything we need to know about 308, and you should be able to get an ammo that works for yours. He happened to find a new Ruger American Prairie, maybe shorter barrel length, and it did not like the main ammo that he was trying to run. He switched around to some other ammo and found that it was not, in fact, the gun. It was the fact that that gun didn't like that ammo. So you have to remember that just because an ammo doesn't work in your gun doesn't mean the ammo is trash, the ammo manufacturer's trash, or that anything they make is going to be bad. It could be that your gun just doesn't like that ammo. These are fickle creatures that we're creating here, and sometimes they just don't play along. If your gun is shooting fine and you've just changed the scope and you flipped around some ammo, then you know the third equation, it was your original scope. It could be something as simple as a mount, checking your torque specs, all of that stuff. It is possible that your scope, when you mounted it, it is a little bit bound, and that tension can cause things to move under recoil. That's also what causes your screws to back off. To steal a phrase from RPM Scope Rings, we've been playing with their scope stuff. Here's their box right here. It's really good scope rings that are collinear, which means that when you mount them on your pick rail, the concentricity through the two scope rings is off by less than 1/1000th of an inch. That is precision that normally you would have to lap your own in order to get to that. Just putting it on your upper, on your pick rail, and then lapping it in so that it's perfectly true and center. That is a big deal. The scope rings that we have on this one aren't to that level of precision. I do happen to have another pair of those that I could throw on there if we need to, but let's go through things one at a time here, and we can go back if we need to and we can't find the solution. So if you've got a rifle that just won't shoot, that is the rundown. First, swap the scope out, or if you don't have another one, double, triple check, remount it, re-level it, re-torque it, eliminate the scope as the variable. Next, get out the chronograph and check your ammo. Are the SDs consistent? Are we getting a consistent velocity? Switch around to a couple other ammos. See if your gun is just being ammo sensitive. If it's still not shooting right, then we can look back at the rifle components. We can look at that barrel. I would love to run a bore scope through that GQ Armory. That might be in a future video. I'm going to run off to the range and zero this. If you guys want to see how it turns out, that'll be in a follow-up video. Probably post that as a short. Okay, I didn't want to leave this video without the resolution and the conclusion. I've already given the gun back to him, and we got it to shoot just fine. It turns out that it was, in fact, a loosely mounted D&T Thermite. And that's unfortunate that we wasted some ammo, but it's a lesson learned. Always double, triple check your mounts. You got to make sure that everything is tight and torqued properly. And so I'll show you a group that we shot with this gun. I shot several rounds of the 300 grain CFEs from Halworks, one of the most accurate hunters on the market. And that was what we chose to make sure that we were zeroed in. He's got his gun back, and I believe he's going hunting here in a couple days. So if anything comes of that, I'll report it back to you. We're coming up on 100,000 subscribers. And on a completely unrelated note, we just got this beautiful AR-15 in. Stay tuned. We're going to put an optic on it. We're going to test it. This thing has some really cool features. that I think you're going to like. All of the gear and reviews that we've done are available on eaglerun23.com. Go through there and look at the parts list and the blog. You can see all of my favorite components. There is a complete breakdown of every part and piece used on this gun that will be posted at eaglerun23.com. While you're there, sign up for the email list and grab some 8.6 Blackout merch, some Eagle Run 23 merch. We've got some cool shirts and some cool stickers. I'd love for you to check those out. All right, I got to get back to work, guys. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.